Welcome back, everybody, to Colorbar. Betsy Davis with Sandy Alexander, joined as always by my co-host, Kim Updike.
Hello, how are you, Betsy?
Amazing.
Great.
Cat's out of the bag.
It is out. The gig is up.
The gig is up. The outfit is the same. We don't know what order, but just so everybody knows, we record Colorbar about 6 episodes at a time, and Kim and I just, do a little wardrobe change.
We have a little wardrobe change here and there, a little shoe change, kind of mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Luggage is lost somewhere in Orlando, Florida for Bets. All of the wonderful outfits I had planned, I'm stuck in the outfit I had on from yesterday, and we're making it work. So, cat's out of the bag, folks. We do not record 6 times once a week.
No.
So 6 episodes at a time, and Betsy is doing the best she can today.
Well, you look fantastic,
Thank
right?
you.
For travel weary and no bags, you really can pull that look off. So,
Thank you, Target. They're not a sponsor, but I'm going to throw out a little shout out to Target for saving my life for the next 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're super excited for today's episode. We're talking over the next several weeks about all things immersive environment.
Yep. Experiential, immersive.
Experiential, what brands are doing in the retail space, the dining space, to really now create these amazing moments in store to get consumers back in. And so today we are joined by Sean Sager from Set and Stage Creative out of Los Angeles. He is the creative director and principal at Set and Stage. And so we're going to talk all things three-dimensional and way fun creative with Sean today on Colorbar. So Sean, welcome.
Welcome, Sean. Nice to see you and meet you.
Hi, Betsy. Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. So tell everybody that's watching on Colorbar a little bit about yourself, your background, and of course about Set and Stage.
Yes. Well, as you said, I'm the principal and creative director for Set Plus Stage Creative in Los Angeles, California. And we have been running for almost 10 years. I think we're moving from our 8th to 9th year in business. We've had some ups and downs, made it through COVID, and there have been a lot of challenges over here on the West Coast, and we could talk a little bit about that later. But we have a really fantastic team here in Los Angeles. I work side by side with my partner, David McBride, who is just a genius artist and really knows how to work with every medium there is on the planet, and is responsible for engineering and designing a lot of the hands-on samples and materials that you see in the windows. We work together as a great team where I carry a lot of the vision and he carries out all of the hands-on art. And together, we have created this unique little company.
That is so cool.
Unique for sure. And for those that are watching Colorbar via video, we're going to be highlighting some of your fantastic creations that you guys have developed together for a multitude of brands, so everybody can see this amazing work, but they can also check you out on your Instagram page, which we were trolling earlier today and went down a rabbit hole. And TikTok. So we will highlight that for those. I think it's SS Creative Group, right? Is where you can find you guys on Instagram.
Yes.
So please go check it out, but we will highlight via video on Colorbar.
There's way too many to even choose from. Betsy and I were like, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you check that?
Yeah.
The vision and just the work that you all do is just so amazing. It's just unbelievably, it takes creative to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Just the innovative design and materials and all the textures. It's really cool.
I started 30 years ago working in a Banana Republic store in Beverly Hills, and Banana Republic taught me the art of visual display and merchandising. And from there, I was very blessed to have met in that store Paul Marciano, the owner of Guess. And from there, we forged a friendship, and I went over to Guess Corporate from Banana Republic. And it has been a wild roller coaster ride of creativity, ups and downs and curveballs, left and right. And I wouldn't change it or trade it for anything in the world.
So I actually wrote down that you do work with a multitude of brands, but are you seeing right now just any overall trends with what
Yes.
people are trying to accomplish?
So funny because there's always a common denominator or a common thread that you'll see a certain season and you'll be like, did everyone see the same Pinterest page? Or did everyone have the same mood board picture, swipe, whatever? Because it could be as simple as just a color where at Christmas time, you'll walk down Rodeo Drive and you'll say, oh my gosh, everyone went for that pink, or everyone went for that green. Or it could be an element. So right now we're in the middle of ideating holiday, and we're getting a lot of swipes from brands. And I'll say, without like telling any secrets or divulging any secrets, but we are seeing a lot of bows. And it's funny because last season we were seeing oversized ice creams and desserts that were coming through our computers of swipes from brands, upside down ice cream cones, giant popsicles. Like it's crazy. Like 5 or 6 brands were sending us the same picture. Well, right now we're receiving photos from a lot of companies, and we're getting a lot of traditional and we're getting a lot of bows, oversized bows, little bows, just a lot of bows.
It always makes me think of the Lexus bow
The
at
car-
Christmas on the car.
Yeah.
We could all hope for it. We could all hope that that's going to happen to us at holiday, but
But it's really funny how even with different brands, once the swipes start coming through, we notice little similarities that everyone has, either between color, a material, an element, a shape. Yeah.
that's really interesting. And then to have to, like I just said, you still have to make it their brand, even though it still might be that same
Yeah.
kind of vibing and
That's
that
serious in a different way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and it's really our job to really support the brands and really help them communicate and execute their vision. Um, we get different types of clients throughout the year. We get that client that hands you a deck and they say, "This is our vision. This is what we want. Please don't stray from it, but make sure it fits in a small box. You can open it up and our manager can install it within 20 minutes." That's one client. And then we have another one that will send us a swipe of their favorite inspiration that they're just freaking out about. They love it. How could we create this look in our windows? You tell us how you can do it, and this is how much money we have.
Yeah.
Um, then we have the client that will come to us and ask us to create and come up with, first it'll be a creative deck with like many ideas, and we'll ask the client to circle pictures and things that they are gravitating towards, and we walk them through step by step a process, a creative process, to get them closer to what they love. And there's more hand holding with that, and there's more back and forth with it, but it's just another way to go. So there's usually those 3 avenues that we're kind of working with when ideating ideas or working with clients. Sometimes they can be extremely specific, but when they're very specific, what comes to us is we either have to value engineer it, which means find a way to make it happen in an affordable way that fits their budget. Um, and we also have to figure out, even though we know the final outcome, we have to figure out how it's going to pack, how it's going to ship, how it's going to be easily installed. All of those factors come in. And even though those are technical and logistical, I also see them as creative.
Yep. be one of my questions for you. We call it ideation to installation when we're
Yeah.
talking to our customers. And so I actually wrote this down. So, what does that look like for your team? And so talk a little bit about, your creative process, but then all the other players behind the scenes that are making these creations happen. And then again, all the way into installation. What does that look like from your engagement with the customer and then your teams helping to execute
Yeah,
it?
there's a lot involved. You know, our team is compiled of super talented project managers that are working on the pricing and the technicality of a project, and also figuring out the timing and the materials, and what are the best materials, what are the most affordable materials. So we have people figuring out the details of the job. And then we have another team in production that is actually taking or translating what the project manager has created on paper, and now taking that and creating it into an object. And that object is timed, how long it takes to make, how long it takes for every single step of the way, and then how it actually is going to visually look, and make sure that it is um, compared to the control, or compared to what the customer is looking for. We're trying to execute that, but then we're also trying to give them variations. The high of it in color, the medium, the low, the extra swatches, the extra samples, the extra materials. Oh, if you love it like this, we just brought these 3 extra swatches in case you want to do it in wood, or if you want this paper, or you like this fabric. So we're putting a whole package together and really dissecting. There's a big dissection of pulling a project apart and then putting it back together. While that's happening, you have someone like me who's kind of running around town, looking at what all the competition is doing, seeing what's on trend, talking to vendors, looking at new materials, attending trade shows, seeing what's hot, what's new, what's out, and then how do we take that and then apply it to the upcoming projects that are coming. So I'm kind of someone that's out there finding resources while all of this is going on. And then we have our different teams in the office that are working separately, but also working together, if that makes
Talk about
any
the
sense.
sustainability conversation. Yeah, yeah. The sustainability piece of it. You were talking about being out and looking at materials and meeting with vendors. How big is that sustainability conversation with what you guys are creating?
Um, Sustainability, we hear about it all the time. There has been a raised consciousness, I think, not only in our creative visual platform, but everywhere.
Right.
All kinds of businesses are thinking about it. It's definitely coming to the surface, but I have to be honest, I am noticing that in sustainability, there comes a price. And price on sustainability is higher. And as much as we're all passionate about the sustainability, and it's a climb up a ladder that we're trying to get to, sometimes the sustainable route is more expensive, and it doesn't always fit into a client's budget.
I think there's a big opportunity there for folks like Sandy Alexander and yourselves to partner with some of the substrates and some of the partners and vendors that are out there that we're working with on our materials, because we get that same question a lot too of how can we do this in a more sustainable way but still within budget, and
What's
still
out
making
there.
it what's readily accessible so we can do large rollouts. And so it's definitely something to
And obviously, it comes down to materials. You know,
Right.
working with fabrics, working with papers, recycled corrugate, things like that, found objects. But another way to be sustainable is also to take your window, all those beautiful props, And maybe they live longer. They move inside the store. And maybe once they've enjoyed being inside the store, if that brand has outlet stores, maybe those props move to an outlet store. And maybe they're being used instead of one time, 3 times. Yes, it gets thrown away, but you have now made something last longer and became reusable. And that is another sign of sustainability that I think also has a lot of traction.
I love that. And I'm assuming when you guys are thinking through your creations, one of those checklist items is the lifespan of the window, or the lifespan of it going further than just the window.
Right. So just the
And-
window,
and
like you
brands-
said, or beyond the promotion, maybe even. You know,
Right.
if it's seasonal or whatnot, does it have reusable qualities?
Exactly. Also, sourced items like, you know, we've worked with Banana Republic, who also is very conscious and aware of sustainability. And we sourced a lot of vintage items for them that live in the store all year round, vintage suitcases and vintage books. And they are found items that have been enjoyed for decades. And now they've been purchased into a store, and the store will keep them and move them around and not toss them and save them. And they become part of the store environment. And that's also another form of sustainability.
Yeah, I like that idea of when, like you said, with Banana Republic and some of the works that you guys have done with the vintage books and suitcases and maybe like a jewelry box or whatnot, but it actually becomes part of the brand environment and really becomes part of the store. And I think that just is really neat because it adds an extra layer of texture, for lack
And
of a better term,
and personality.
and personality that really becomes in that environment. And like one of the trends that we've been talking about is creating those, driving people in store, you know, having in-person experiences and it being very immersive, and how those types of props or found items or displays that they all are creating really, you know, tie into that movement, and then how that focus, I'll say newly fresh focus about driving in store and this immersive thing, how has that kind of changed or added to your, you know, to your business and like what you're seeing? You know, do windows, have they become more elaborate? You know, do we incorporate technology and stuff into different, you know, windows through a AI component or an AR component? And, you know, is this trend, you know, how is that evolving?
Yeah. Are you seeing that starting to happen, Sean, where there's more tech involved in any of your creations from a digital augmented reality? Like, are people starting to ask for more of that in store?
It's funny. Uh, from where I'm sitting, some of the tech stuff is what's happening behind the scenes for me in the type of machines and manufacturing machines we're using to create props, like digital foam carving machines, 3D printing. We're able to see, you look at a certain window and you see a sculpture and you're like, how did they do that sculpture?
Exactly. Yeah.
Those
How did that happen?
sculptures are actually getting easier and easier to create. And there's now many different avenues, different applications of how we could create that sculpture, with foam carving or 3D printing or fiberglass or vacuum form, or there are just so many different opportunities because of technology that we can go that extra mile and make something even more wow. Because, you know, we went through a trend of maximalism, yes, I say it right, where people wanted oversized handbags and oversized shoe and you know, you walk in and you're like, oh my God, that's a 10-foot tall handbag. Now we have the technology to create those things. And prior, that was kind of not on the table. Those things are really, really untouchable from a financial standpoint. And now it's becoming more and more attainable. And I think you're able to see more of that wow factor because of technology. Now, does that mean you see more like flat screens in a window and more like interactive digital stuff? Like, I do see that happening, but kind of where I'm sitting from, I'm looking at all the technology that has advanced in how to create the props.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how, and I don't know if the brand shared this with you or not, but from an ROI perspective, because some of these budgets I'm sure are, again, sometimes they're limited and sometimes it's like, let's go for it. But how are
But
brands,
usually they're more limited than not.
yeah, I would imagine,
Yeah.
how are brands tracking? We get this question all the time about direct mail. It costs so much, and I don't know how to have attribution to it. I don't know how to show an ROI on what direct mail did for us other than just brand awareness or getting them to engage with us online. What about from a window install or an in-store
Well,
three-dimensional space? What does that do for the brands?
Well, first of all, I mean, Instagram has been a big tool in what's happening
Right.
because these moments, sure, a postcard could come to your house, a catalog, but let's face it, we're looking on our phones and we're seeing that so and so was at whatever mall or whatever street and this thing happened or this pop-up happened or look at this window or it's a video of someone walking into a store and you're seeing a wow. Well, you just want to kind of get in your car or you want to make a date with your girlfriend or boyfriend and you want to say, oh, we got to go to that pop-up next weekend. Oh, we got to go check out that store. Let's see that window. Did you see that on Instagram? That looks so cool. They're giving away tote bags. I don't know. I mean, that seems like what's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
At least that's what's happening for me.
That takes us back to the tech conversation and the digital combined with the physical. It's a perfect example of what we're seeing customers trying to get to from a brand.
Yeah, definitely.
We actually did this last Friday. We went out on a little field trip, myself with our project managers, Gloria and Jessica, and it was them that said, Sean, Gentle Monster is having a pop-up on Melrose, and they did some crazy stuff. There's a giant Bratz doll on the roof of the store on Melrose. So we drove over there to check it out, and it was worth going. I mean, we walked in and we interacted and we checked it out. We didn't buy anything, but we got there because we saw on Instagram that this was happening. And, we like to get out for inspiration. We want to see what's happening, what people are doing. And there you go.
There you go. So we have a few more minutes, and we want to touch a couple of things. One, talk about one or two of your favorite executions, because again, we're going through, and I'm like, I love the orange moment from Bloomingdale's. I like the tennis balls from Aerie. I like the Bath and Body Works. Like, Kim, what was the brand that you?
I like all the sugar stuff. Yeah, the sugar stuff. There was, but the Banana Republic with all the vintage stuff was on there. I mean, there was so many examples. Like, I don't know how you could even pick one.
Yeah.
It was all great.
But tell us about one or two of your favorite ones that you guys executed.
It's personal to me.
Yeah.
We work on the visual decor piece of Holiday on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills from Wilshire Boulevard up to Santa Monica Boulevard. I think we're moving into our 6th year. We partner with this incredible event production company called Bourgeois Productions in Beverly Hills, and the whole thing started was I grew up in that city as a kid, and it was really feels like my hometown. And I was always very passionate about wanting to do something at home. And I noticed one day that they were doing pop-up Instagram walls on the street. And my dream was to just do one, so I could tell my mom and dad and my my kids that we
I
did.
made it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
We made it. I did an Instagram wall on Rodeo, and it was really kind of a personal passion of mine. But through some phone calls and visits and talking to this one and how do I meet that one and whatever, um, one thing led to another, and we met Bourgeois Entertainment, who's really responsible for the whole production, and we partnered with them, and we got the creative piece of the project through them, and before you knew it, we were on Rodeo Drive. Um, One of the board members had an idea to turn Rodeo Drive into a runway fashion show with red stages going up the center, with mannequins dressed in couture dresses, all adorned in metallic holiday florals. And we won an award for this execution, and I don't know if I sent you pictures, but I will. It was quite beautiful. It resonated to me in a personal way because it was in my hometown, and it was just all in all, it was just a very special experience. It was one of my favorites.
I love that. Definitely share pictures, and we will post and
We will post and share.
Yeah, it was a beauty. It was a beauty. And then really talk about another one really quickly, and you brought it up. It was It's Sugar. I mean, we really had an opportunity, um, store after store. I don't know how many stores we opened up with them, but really we created this signature with their creative director, Jason Bowser. We came up with this idea of adding jelly beans to all of these um, figures and moments and flowers and everything, but each store had its own identity based on what city it was. So New York got all the New York props and the buildings and everything, and Chicago got something that reflected Chicago. I think we did the Golden Gate Bridge in jelly beans. Hawaii got everything tropical and sharks, and everything under the sea was done in jelly beans, and it was just every single location was special. Oh, City Walk in Hollywood, in City Walk in Burbank, we did the Wizard of Oz, we did the tree, we did Dorothy, the lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. Everything was covered in jelly beans. So that whole project was just it was creative and it was fantastic.
Well, one of the things I love about that story is we've talked about this a few times on Colorbar about we talk about personalization a lot, but we've also talked about personalizing even in store. And so instead of personalization, it's more localization, which is exactly what you've just described, where you make it very personal to the people of that city and of that neighborhood. And love
Yeah,
that.
that resonates with them.
Glimpse.
Glimpse, yes. So our next glimpse, where I'll talk about very immersive environments and retail spaces, and Sean is going to be joining us as one of our panelists. So we're so excited to have you at the end of July. We're really looking forward to the conversation and just where these types of executions and the creativity and building these types of immersive events and spaces, and really looking forward to it, and just love all of your work and creativity. I think that's going to bring an amazing perspective to our conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, this was so fun. And my guess is people are going to be like, when's Sean coming back?
When's Sean coming back?
When's Sean coming back so we can talk more creativity and amazing execution. So you're
Yes.
such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you allow us to support you on at Sandy. And we look forward to seeing you again in July at Glimpse.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, thank you.
See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.